What's up, everyone? This is James Games here, bringing you a video in the Catacomb Cup. Had a lot of fun last month in Sorceress. It was my favorite cup in Season 2 this far. And Catacomb Cup is looking pretty good so far. Looking to be pretty fun. So just want to go over this really quick. The Catacomb Cup is a Silph Arena themed cup for the month of July. If you're not familiar with the Silph Arena, I highly recommend you get involved. You're really missing out by just doing Go Battle League. So real quick, a look at the Catacomb Cup. Dark, grass, ice, rock, and bug types are allowed. However, they cannot have a steel typing, so stuff like Bastiodon, Wormadam Trash, Ferrothorn, anything with steel as a type, not allowed, as well as no legendaries, mythicals, shadows, no regionals like Tropius or Heracross, no Scrafty, Dugong, Alola Ninetales, Obstagoon. So I'm going to show you guys a few practice battles now. Really fun. Had a couple of really close battles already, so check it out and let me know what you guys think. Alright, so in this first battle, we got an Umbreon versus Lapras lead. So this is a favorable lead for me, but not by much. Umbreon is by no means a hard counter to Lapras. And as you guys can see right off the bat, my opponent did not build up enough energy to get to a Skull Bash on his Lapras, so I knew it was going to be a Surf. And then he's going to swap into Ludicolo. I'm going to land a Foul Play and then swap into my Vespiquen. This Ludicolo is running Razor Leaf, which I believe is the right play in this meta. However, it's going to take so long to get to a charge move, and Vespiquen's going to take out that Ludicolo pretty easily. But now I'm faced with the Lapras again. He's going to bring the Lapras back in. I'm going to try to bait there with the X-Scissor, and unfortunately it does not work out. He lets it go unshielded. So I'm going to let this Surf go through, and I'm going to try for a Power Gem before my Vespiquen goes down. And he's going to let that go through as well. So now he's saving 2 shields for his Beedrill in the back. And this is going to be quite problematic for me, as I do not have a solid answer for Beedrill. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Umbreon again, and I'm going to shield up this Fell Stinger. So that's quite unfortunate, but going to be able to get off a Foul Play here. And at this point, I'm not really sure what my best course of action is. Just going to go for another Foul Play again. I believe I have Breloom in the back here. I do, so I'm faced with a tough decision here. I'm not going to shield this because I believe it's just a Fell Stinger. A Drill Run doesn't matter. It's resisted. But I have the choice here of shielding this up and trying to go for a Sludge Bomb, but I thought that Foul Play would be the better answer here. And so actually what ends up happening is, well, I'll let you guys just watch and see for yourself here. So I'm going to go for the Foul Play. I thought it would be enough, but unfortunately not. And we are actually going to tie in that matchup. So going right here into the next battle, I got Vespiquen lead against Breloom. He's going to switch out to Sudowoodo. Excellent safe switch in this cup, in my opinion. There's not a whole lot of options for great safe switches, but I do believe Sudowoodo is going to be one of the best, just because there's not really much in this meta that is able to take a Rock Slide, let alone 2 Rock Slides. So I ended up bringing in my own Sudowoodo and just playing it out here. Gonna shield up this Rock Slide, and I'm gonna take the lead. I'm gonna keep the switch advantage, and out comes Breloom. I'm just gonna throw one more Rock Slide before I faint. He's gonna let it go through. Breloom is really squishy, but I think it's a good option in this cup. I'm gonna bring out my Vespiquen here and go for this X-Scissor. He's gonna shield it up, and not really too concerned about what's coming through. It's just going to be a dynamic punch, so really no harm done there. And then I'm going to land this Power Gem here on the Beedrill, and then switch into my Umbreon, and there's really nothing this Beedrill is going to be able to do to turn the tide here. It's just a Fell Stinger, and Probably going to come through with another Fell Stinger. And I'm just going to farm it all the way down. Out comes Breloom again, and one foul play will do the trick. In this next battle, we're going to see a very common instance in this cup, which is going to be the Lapras Mirror. And this is something you guys need to practice over and over to make sure you know the best way to play this mirror and be familiar. It's really dependent on IVs. It's really dependent on who has the higher attack stat. And I have found that the best way to play it is just go straight Skull Bash. And you want to invest shields early because that defense boost is really going to help you out. Like the first Skull Bash you get hit with is going to do way more damage than the second, and then more damage than the third. And so I like to shield the first one. Of course, there's always going to be baits, but in my experience, I think the best way to play it is just go straight Skull Bash. I'm still learning. We get pretty deep into this mirror here. I'm actually going for my third Skull Bash here, so I'm going to have my defense raised by 3 stages. And now my opponent has invested both shields, and I'm going to go ahead and shield again. He goes for his third Skull Bash. And now I kind of got, we're really deep into the mirror. I wasn't really sure how to play it. So he goes for the Surf, and then I honestly don't really know what I'm doing here. I started off playing the mirror very well, and then I threw a Surf. It's just something you guys need to practice a lot to really be able to determine the best way to play it. He's going to switch out into his Houndoom, and I'm going to land the Surf on it. And then his Houndoom's going to take out Lapras, which puts me in a little bit of a spot here, but I'm going to bring out Umbreon and try to farm this thing all the way down. Worried about getting hit with a Flamethrower here, but it's just a crunch. So Umbreon's going to be able to farm down the Houndoom and get some stored energy. Out comes the Venusaur, which Venusaur is a very good response to Umbreon. Venusaur is a very strong Pokemon in this cup, I think. It hard counters Sudowoodo. It can beat Umbreon. If Lapras doesn't shield, it's going for a ride. So, so this battle is pretty much mine to lose at this point. He's just going to dump his energy and then go down, and then out comes his own Venusaur again, and I'm going to be able to take it out with a Frenzy Plant here. So really play that Lapras Mirror a lot, guys. I really think you're going to be running into it quite a bit in your tournaments. Last battle for today is going to be an Umbreon versus Houndoom lead. I'm deciding to stay in here and play it out. I'm going straight Last Resort. Kind of just curious to see how much Last Resort does to this Houndoom, because Houndoom is so squishy. But he's going to shield up the first one, and then he's going to shield up the second one as well. So I decide to just take my shield advantage and just swap out into Sudowoodo. And he's going to land a Crunch. Houndoom is a glass cannon. It goes down very quickly, but it also deals some serious damage. So check out Houndoom for this cup. I think it's a really good option. It counters, the strong grass and bug types in this meta, as well as the ice types, apart from Lapras, who's part water, so that fire is only going to do neutral. But it's just really squishy. It needs shields, but I can definitely see some potential for Houndoom. My opponent really caught me slipping in this matchup. I'm gonna end up losing this because he's got Houndoom and Lapras, and my Vespiquen is really the only Pokemon that I have healthy at this point. This Lapras is going to be able to take out my Umbreon with one Surf, and then Vespiquen is not really going to be able to do a whole lot. So great gameplay by my opponent here. He had a very solid team comp. Lapras, Venusaur, Houndoom. I've seen a lot of people playing around with the ideas of double this and double that. I personally don't see that as being a super viable option. I think you're going to have more success just trying to make your team very diverse and capable of handling all different kinds of threats. Lapras is very strong in this cup, in my opinion. You're definitely going to want to include at least a couple good counters to Lapras. That being said, grass types are so important in this cup because they can handle Sudowoodo and some of the other rock types you'll see, as well as, Lapras. And I personally like Venusaur. However, there are several Razor Leafers that are very good options as well. As you could see from that last battle, Houndoom is very interesting and definitely could be put to good use here. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this cup? What are you planning on bringing? And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful.